Deep within the heart of the Russian capital, a collection of curiosities once gathered by Peter the Great held court. This was not your typical assembly of artifacts and trinkets, but a testament to the bizarre, the shocking, the fascinating, and the grotesque. Known as the Kunstkamera, or the Cabinet of Curiosities, it reflected Peter's insatiable curiosity for the world, which was as much a part of his character as his towering stature and sweeping reforms. The Kunstkamera, established in 1727, was Russia's first public museum, a fact often overshadowed by its strange contents. Guts and gore, deformities and wonders of nature, these were the tenets of Peter's cabinet. The purpose behind this collection was not merely to shock or entertain, but to educate, to dispel myths, and to challenge the superstitious beliefs of the time. One of the most bizarre exhibits was the deformed and preserved fetus of a two-headed boy. This was not a figment of a horror novel, but a stark exemplification of teratology, the study of abnormalities. Peter believed that by showcasing such anomalies, he could combat ignorance and fear. There were also anatomical rarities like the skeleton of a giant. Dwarfing most men of the time, this towering figure was a testament to the extremes of human physiology. It was a chilling reminder of the diversity of life and an acknowledgement of the extraordinary within the ordinary. The Kunstkamera housed not only biological oddities but also a vast array of mechanical wonders. Peter had a keen fascination with technology and innovation. He collected scientific instruments, astrolabes, clocks, and a myriad of other devices that showcased human ingenuity. His collection was a living testament to the human endeavor to decode the mysteries of the universe. Among the more macabre attractions were the human organs preserved in jars, a grim but compelling nod to Peter's interest in medical science. The eeriness of these displays was offset by their educational value, presenting an unflinching view into the intricacies of human anatomy. Peter's Cabinet of Curiosities was not merely a collection of shock and spectacle. Each item held a purpose, a lesson, a story. Be it a malformed fetus, a towering skeleton, or a meticulously crafted scientific instrument, each piece was a testament to Peter's vision, a vision that sought to educate, to demystify, and to challenge the known boundaries of knowledge and understanding. Indeed, the Kunstkamera remains a powerful symbol of Peter the Great's reign, a manifestation of his insatiable curiosity, and a bold statement of his commitment to enlightenment and progress. It is a physical testament to the idea that the world is full of wonders and mysteries waiting to be unraveled by those brave enough to look beyond the surface. The breadth and depth of Peter's collection were truly astounding. He was not just content with collecting items from his own country or even his own continent. The Kunstkamera was a global endeavor, a vast cosmopolitan collection that bore the mark of Peter's extensive travels and his expansive worldview. One such example was the collection of ethnographic artifacts from Siberia and the Far East. These included traditional garments, weapons, household items, and religious objects. Each artifact was a window into a different culture, a testament to the diversity of human existence. Equally fascinating was Peter's collection of natural history specimens. This included a wide range of animal skeletons, botanical drawings, and geological samples. One of the most striking exhibits was a colossal mammoth tusk, a remnant of a bygone era that spoke volumes about the Earth's ancient past. Peter's fascination with the natural world extended to the sea as well. His collection included an array of marine specimens, from shells and coral to the fearsome jaws of a great white shark. These specimens were not just curiosities, they were tools for studying the vast and largely unexplored underwater world. Despite the range of his collection, Peter was not indiscriminate. Each item was carefully selected and meticulously documented. In many ways, the Cabinet of Curiosities was a precursor to the modern museum, emphasizing the importance of context, documentation, and interpretation. Peter's collection was not just about the objects themselves, but about the stories they told and the questions they raised. It was about understanding the world in all its complexity and diversity. It was a testament to the power of curiosity and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. This spirit of inquiry was reflected not just in the collection itself, but also in the way it was displayed. The Kunstkamera was designed to provoke thought and stimulate discussion. It was a space for contemplation, debate, and discovery. In many ways, Peter the Great's Cabinet of Curiosities was a microcosm of the Enlightenment itself. It embodied the spirit of the age, a time of exploration and discovery, a time when the boundaries of knowledge were expanding and the world was becoming increasingly interconnected. The Cabinet of Curiosities was more than just a collection of oddities. It was a manifestation of Peter's vision, a testament to his insatiable curiosity, and a symbol of his commitment to enlightenment and progress. It was a physical embodiment of his belief that the world is full of wonders, waiting to be discovered by those brave enough to look beyond the surface. Amid the cornucopia of curiosities housed within the Kunstkamera, there was one item that drew attention like no other. More than the mammoth's tusk or the jaws of a shark, it was a skull that was said to belong to a dragon. This artifact was not just a mere specimen to be studied, but a symbol of the extraordinary, a testament to the world's hidden wonders and mysteries that defied explanation. The skull was enormous, dwarfing the other items in the collection. Its size alone was enough to inspire awe, but it was the peculiar features of the skull that truly fascinated the visitors. It bore a striking resemblance to the creatures of legend, with its elongated snout, sharp, jagged teeth, and two large horn-like protrusions extending from its forehead. The eye sockets were cavernous, suggesting a creature of substantial size and power. The monastery that claimed ownership of the skull was located in the remote regions of Siberia. According to local lore, the skull had been discovered in a secluded cave, hidden away from the eyes of the world. The monks who discovered it believed it to be the remains of a dragon, a creature from ancient folklore that had been revered and feared in equal measure. The dragon, in many cultures, represents power, wisdom, and the primal forces of nature. Its image has been etched into our collective consciousness, a symbol of the unknown and the extraordinary. The skull in the Kunstkamera was treated with a similar reverence. It was displayed prominently, drawing the gaze of every visitor who walked through the doors. To some, it was a symbol of the limitless possibilities of the natural world. To others, it was a chilling reminder of the mysteries that lay beyond our understanding. Each detail of the skull added another layer to the myth. The elongated snout, the sharp teeth, the horns, all painted a picture of a creature out of a fairy tale. Even the location of its discovery, a secluded cave in a remote region of Siberia, added to the aura of mystery that surrounded the skull. It was as if the skull had been waiting, hidden away for centuries, for someone brave enough to uncover its secrets. Peter the Great had always been fascinated by the unknown, the unexplained, and the extraordinary. His collection was a testament to that fascination. The dragon skull, with its blend of myth and reality, was the perfect embodiment of his relentless pursuit of knowledge. It was a reminder that the world is filled with wonders, waiting to be discovered. The dragon skull was more than just a curiosity. It was a symbol of humanity's eternal quest for understanding, a beacon guiding us into the unknown. In the end, the dragon skull was not just a remarkable artifact but a challenge to look beyond the surface, to push the boundaries of our understanding, and to explore the unexplored. A challenge that Peter the Great embraced with open arms as he ventured into the unknown, guided by his insatiable curiosity and unyielding spirit. The monastery that claimed the skull was of a dragon was in and of itself a location steeped in enigma. The building, known as the Monastery of St. Cyril, was a venerated establishment dating back to the 14th century. Nestled among the snow-capped mountains of northern Russia, it stood as a solitary outpost of spiritual and intellectual pursuit. The tale of the dragon skull's discovery is equally shrouded in mystery. According to the monks at the monastery, it was found in a secluded cave in the Siberian wilderness, a location considered sacred by the local people. The skull was said to have been found alongside various other bones and artifacts, each more bizarre and inexplicable than the last. The skull itself was a sight to behold. It was enormous, the size of a small car, and dominated any room in which it was placed. Its teeth were as sharp as knives, and its eye sockets were large and hollow, giving it a haunting, otherworldly quality. The skull's most striking feature, however, was its horns. These protrusions were coiled and pointed, resembling those depicted in artistic renditions of dragons throughout history. Upon its discovery, the skull was immediately brought to the monastery. The monks, recognizing its unusual characteristics, declared it to be the remains of a dragon. This claim spread quickly, and soon the monastery was inundated with visitors eager to catch a glimpse of the legendary creature's remains. But the monks did not simply display the skull for its shock value. Instead, they treated it with deep reverence, as if it were a holy relic. They believed that the dragon was a guardian spirit of the land, a creature of immense wisdom and power. To them, the skull was a physical manifestation of this ancient, mystical force. As word of the dragon's skull spread, it attracted the attention of Peter the Great. Intrigued by the monks' claims, the Tsar ordered the skull to be transported to his Kunstkammer, where it could be studied and displayed for the benefit of all. The skull's journey from a remote Siberian cave to the heart of the Russian Empire is a story of intrigue and discovery. It is a tale that blurs the line between myth and reality, between the known and the unknown. It is a testament to the human spirit's insatiable curiosity and our quest to understand the world around us. The dragon skull is not simply an artifact, it is a symbol of the mysteries that lie just beyond our grasp, of the extraordinary possibilities that our world holds. And perhaps most importantly, it is a reminder of our enduring fascination with the unknown. In the annals of history, there are often instances that confound and bewilder, stories that are stranger than fiction. One such tale is that of the medieval tax on beards, levied in Russia during the reign of Peter the Great, and the chaos it incited. Peter the Great was a ruler known for his radical reforms, his relentless pursuit of modernity, and his desire to westernize Russia. Yet among his numerous edicts and decrees, one stands out for its sheer peculiarity: the introduction of a beard tax in 1698. The tax was not arbitrary, but rather a part of Peter's strategy to modernize Russia. The clean-shaven look was a trend among the European nobility, and Peter wanted his countrymen to follow suit. But he was met with staunch opposition. Beards had deep religious and cultural significance in Russia. They were seen as a symbol of manhood, wisdom, and piety. To forcibly shave them off was perceived as deeply offensive, sacrilegious even. Those who refused to comply with the new rule were subjected to a hefty tax. The amount varied based on social status. Wealthy merchants were charged 100 rubles, while peasants had to part with a kopeck every time they entered a city. To add insult to injury, anyone who paid the tax was given a token, essentially a receipt, that they had to carry around as proof of their transgression. The beard tax and the forced shaving of beards sparked an uproar. It led to widespread discontent and civil disobedience, culminating in what can only be described as beard riots. Men took to the streets, their faces covered in stubble, brandishing their tokens in protest. The outcry was so intense that it threatened to destabilize Peter's reign. Despite the widespread discontent and upheaval, Peter did not repeal the tax. Instead, he used the revenues to fund his ambitious modernization projects. The beard tax remained in place until his death in 1725. The tale of the beard tax and the riots it incited is a curious episode in the long and storied history of Russia. It is a testament to the power of cultural symbols, the audacity of rulers, and the lengths people will go to preserve their traditions. Despite the chaos it caused, the beard tax left an indelible mark on Russia's history, a bizarre footnote that continues to intrigue historians and laymen alike. It's a testament to Peter's iron will that he did not relent in the face of widespread dissent. The beard tax, seen by many as a bizarre and insensitive imposition, was perceived by the Tsar as a necessary means to an end. The revenue it generated was funneled into his grand projects of modernization, from the creation of a navy to the construction of new cities. The beard tax was not just a symbol of Peter's ruthless determination to westernize Russia, it was a practical tool in his arsenal. Understandably, the tax was met with widespread opposition. The Orthodox clergy were particularly vocal in their resistance, describing the shaving of beards as a sin and a violation of God's law. This stance further fanned the flames of discontent among the populace. The beard was not simply facial hair to them, it was a symbol of their faith, their identity, and their heritage. The tax was seen as an assault on all three. The beard riots were a dramatic manifestation of this discontent. Thousands of men took to the streets, their beards defiantly on display. Their tokens, supposed symbols of shame, were brandished as badges of honor. The protests were not confined to the cities. Even in the remote corners of the vast Russian Empire, bearded men raised their voices in defiance. The riots took a violent turn in several areas. The tax collectors, viewed as the embodiment of Peter's oppressive policy, were often the target of the protesters' wrath. There are historical accounts of tax collectors being chased out of towns, their offices set ablaze, and some even being assaulted. The civil unrest reached a point where it threatened to destabilize Peter's rule. But it was not just the common people who were incensed. The nobility, too, were deeply resentful of the tax. Many of them saw it as an affront to their social standing and a blatant disregard for their traditions. Their resentment, however, was tempered by their fear of Peter's wrath, and they were less open in their opposition. Yet their quiet discontent added another layer to the simmering tension in the empire. In the face of such intense opposition, any other ruler might have re-evaluated their stance. But Peter was not just any ruler. He held firm, even in the face of violent protests and simmering discontent among the nobility. The beard tax remained in place, a testament to his unwavering resolve to push Russia into a new era. It is a reminder of the lengths a ruler may go to impose their vision of progress, even when it flies in the face of deeply held traditions and cultural norms. Against the backdrop of these tense circumstances, an unexpected figure emerged from obscurity. A man whose past was steeped in the lawless world of pirates and high-seas adventure. His name was Henry Avery, the pirate who retired and became a colonial governor. Imagine a pirate, and you'll likely conjure up images of a ruthless, hard-drinking, cutthroat marauder. And for the most part, you wouldn't be wrong. Avery's earlier life was indeed marked by piracy and lawlessness. He won fame and notoriety as the captain of the Fancy, a sleek ship known for its speed and agility, and he was known for his cunning and ruthlessness in battle. However, at the height of his pirate career, Avery did something quite unexpected. He retired. Not only did he retire, but he also managed to evade capture, a feat that was unheard of in an era when pirates were hunted down relentlessly by the naval powers of the time. Avery's retirement was not one of seclusion or obscurity, far from it. He used his ill-gotten wealth to purchase lands in the American colonies, and even assumed the guise of a respectable gentleman. With his pirate past carefully concealed, he climbed the social ladder until he reached the position of colonial governor. This transition from feared pirate to colonial governor was as bizarre as it was audacious. Yet this transformation was not without its challenges. Avery had to navigate the dangerous waters of colonial politics, a task that was perhaps as perilous as any he faced on the high seas. Despite these challenges, Avery managed to maintain his position and even achieve a measure of success. His tenure as governor was marked by a commitment to law and order, a stark contrast to his lawless past. He established courts, enforced laws, and did everything in his power to ensure the stability of the colonies under his rule. However, Avery's past was not entirely buried. Rumors of his pirate past persisted, and there were those who questioned the legitimacy of his rule. Yet despite these murmurs of discontent, Avery managed to retain his position, a testament to his skill at navigating the treacherous waters of colonial politics. Avery's story is a fascinating study in contrasts. The pirate who became a colonial governor, who went from breaking the law to enforcing it. A man whose past was steeped in violence and lawlessness, yet who sought to establish law and order in his new role. It's a testament to the unpredictability of history and the extraordinary turns it can take. Yet the most intriguing aspect of Avery's story isn't his dramatic transition from pirate to governor, but rather how he managed to maintain his position while keeping his past hidden. He had to constantly guard against the looming threat of exposure. Any slip or hint could have brought his entire world crashing down around him. It was a tightrope walk of extraordinary skill and audacity. For one, Avery had to ensure that his pirate wealth was not traced back to him. He invested in multiple businesses and properties, effectively laundering his ill-gotten gains. He also made efforts to distance himself from his past associates who could potentially expose his secret. He was careful with his words, his actions, and even his appearance, ensuring that nothing could link him back to his life as a pirate. Moreover, Avery had to grapple with the political dynamics of colonial America. He had to earn the trust and respect of his peers, many of whom were well-educated and came from respected families. Avery, on the other hand, did not have the benefit of a formal education or a reputable family name. Yet he managed to charm, negotiate, and strategize his way to the top of colonial society. There were also external threats to Avery's position. The British Empire, which had the ultimate authority over the American colonies, was always on the lookout for pirates. Avery had to avoid attracting their attention, all while maintaining the illusion of a law-abiding, loyal servant of the crown. His ability to successfully navigate these challenges is a testament to his cunning and adaptability. He managed to carve out a new identity for himself, burying his past under the facade of respectability. Nevertheless, the threat of exposure was always present, a constant reminder of the double life he was leading. Despite the odds, Avery maintained this balancing act until the end of his days. His life as a colonial governor was as improbable as it was fascinating, a stark contrast to his brutal and lawless past. It's a story of transformation and survival, of a man who defied the odds and carved out a new life for himself. Avery's story is a powerful reminder of the fluidity of identity and the potential for change. It's a tale that challenges our preconceptions, forcing us to question our understanding of what it means to be a pirate, a governor, and ultimately, a man. Avery was all of these and more, a complex figure whose life continues to captivate us centuries after his death. In the end, Avery's life is a testament to the power of reinvention. He turned his back on his past and forged a new path for himself, a path that led him from the deck of a pirate ship to the governor's mansion. It's a journey as extraordinary as it was improbable, one that continues to resonate in the annals of history. As we delve further into the annals of history, we find that the ancient Olympic Games, much like Avery's tale, were not devoid of cunning and deception. At a time when honor and glory were the highest virtues, some athletes still resorted to trickery to gain an upper hand. One of these methods was the use of magic or spells, which athletes believed could influence the outcome of their events. It seems absurd by today's standards, but in ancient Greece, the belief in the power of the gods was profound. Athletes would often seek the help of sorcerers to curse their opponents or to bless themselves with victory. Another prominent form of cheating was bribery. Wealthy athletes would bribe their opponents to lose deliberately, a practice that was highly frowned upon yet difficult to control. The most famous case was that of Eupolis of Thessaly, a boxer who bribed 3 of his opponents in the 98th Olympiad. More physically daring athletes would resort to the usage of performance-enhancing substances. The substances varied widely, from wine potions to exotic plants and even hallucinogenic mushrooms. These were ingested with the belief that they would provide an edge in strength or endurance. Yet another form of cheating was the intentional overstepping of boundaries in foot races. The starting line, known as the balbus, was a sacred boundary. A racer who crossed this line before the signal was given was considered to have committed a grave offense. However, some athletes attempted to game this system, timing their steps to cross the line just as the signal was given, gaining a crucial head start. The ancient authorities took cheating seriously. Those caught were fined, and the money was used to erect statues of Zeus, known as Zanes, near the Olympic Stadium. These statues served as a stark reminder of the consequences of dishonesty, with the names of the cheaters inscribed on their bases for all to see. Despite these measures, some athletes managed to outwit the system. The allure of the olive wreath, the honor, and the glory that came with victory was too enticing for some to resist. Just like Avery, they navigated their way through loopholes, using their cunning to tilt the scales in their favor. The ancient Olympic Games reveal the timeless human propensity for deception, even in the face of honor and glory. It's a striking parallel to Avery's story, a reminder that the pursuit of victory can sometimes blur the line between what's right and what's wrong, a line that has been walked and crossed by many throughout history. In the pursuit of glory, some athletes turned to even more audacious methods of cheating. One such example was that of a wrestler known as Sostratus of Sicyon. In a move that would make a modern-day magician proud, Sostratus famously used a technique known as kleptine. Translated as to steal, kleptine was a method that involved the wrestler covering himself in oil and slipping out of his opponent's grip, making it nearly impossible to hold him down. This slippery tactic was not technically against the rules but was generally frowned upon due to its underhanded nature. Then there was the case of Aricion of Phegalia, a pancrationist, a competitor in an ancient form of mixed martial arts, who triumphed over his opponent in a rather macabre manner. During the 54th Olympiad, Aricion was caught in a stranglehold by his opponent. His life literally on the line, he used a desperate move. He dislocated his opponent's foot, causing such intense pain that his opponent signaled his surrender. The twist? Aricion himself died from the stranglehold, becoming the only athlete in the history of the ancient Olympics to posthumously win a competition. Equally shocking was the case of the Spartan prince, Astylos of Croton. Astylos was a successful Olympic runner who won 3 successive victories in the Stadion and Dialos events. However, his thirst for more led him to betray his homeland. He defected to Syracuse in Sicily after being offered considerable wealth and status by the local ruler. In return, he represented Syracuse in the Olympics, causing an uproar back in Sparta. This blatant display of disloyalty led to his family's banishment and his own erasure from Spartan records. The ancient Olympic Games, steeped in religious significance and intended as a testament to physical prowess and moral integrity, were not immune to the darker aspects of human nature. Cheating, in its various forms, was as much a part of the games as the olive wreaths and the hymns to Zeus. It is a stark reminder of the lengths some are willing to go to for glory and honor, a testament to the timeless struggle between ambition and integrity. While these stories may seem a far cry from the world of modern sports, they resonate with a familiar theme, the temptation of crossing boundaries, of bending rules, in the pursuit of victory. Regardless of the era or the sport, the allure of triumph often brings out both the best and the worst in competitors, as they grapple with the delicate balance between the thrill of victory and the sanctity of fair play. From the tales of ancient Olympians, a valuable lesson emerges. While victory may be fleeting, how one achieves it becomes a lasting testament to their character. It is a timeless message, echoing from the dusty arenas of ancient Olympia to the gleaming stadiums of today. Thanks for listening. This has been another episode of Weird History Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you'd like to support the show, subscribe to Weird History Podcast on Spotify. Subscribe now.